news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, we haven't talked about Ben Simmons not playing in a while, so
thank God.
Why not? Let's just go through it again. The Sixers have gone back and forth all season with him, and Simmons is reportedly still upset about the comments made by Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers after his poor playoff performance last season. And Doc addressed the situation again yesterday. He said, "I've always supported Ben. I want him to do well. It's just the excuses and all that stuff. One of the things I tell all my players is that respect is a two-way street, especially these young guys. You can't expect to ignore us or not listen and then want us to do something different to you. You have to respect each other in order to be successful in life." Simmons has sat out all 50 games so far this season and has reportedly been fined $19 million for missed games, practices, and team meetings.
Well, why do I mean, again, is Ben Simmons, I would pay Joel Embiid respect because he's probably the best big guy in the game.
Yeah.
What has Ben Simmons done in the NBA that I have to pay him this level of respect? Again, Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, there are all stars that have earned my admiration and respect. Ben Simmons would not listen to coaching. First year he was hurt. Second year he was talented. Third year we identify a problem. He's never been willing to work on it. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you can't shoot.
At all.
I don't know. I don't understand the Ben Simmons situation. It's fascinating to me. Why would you leave $19 million on the table, lose a year of your young playing career because somebody said something about you that you didn't like?
Ego.
To me, well, yes, but I don't, my brain, first of all, I'm not afforded that opportunity, right? Like I'm not in that space to just be mad at someone and then therefore I'm not going to work. So I literally can't relate to this behavior. But if in the bigger picture of his career in the NBA and the trade that they're trying to make, why, if I am a team that is truly competing for a championship, would I want Ben Simmons? Because you have to consider the intangibles in this situation. You can't just consider talent.
The word I think of with Ben Simmons is no longer talent. It's toxic. I'm not bringing him into my rooms.
I mean, you just can't react. Should Doc and Joel Embiid said that? Probably not. Is it so egregious that they are critical after a bad performance, after a loss? You're a little emotional. Sometimes you say things when you're emotional that you don't necessarily mean.
Brad, I've seen Bruce Arians.
You're willing to leave $19 million on the table because of that? Bruce
Arians ripped Brady that first year probably 3 to 4 times publicly. I don't know what he said privately. It's called sports.
Well, it's also, if you can't take criticism, I can't relate to people like that. I think that's a really illogical way to live your life. Like, if you can't be told that you're doing something wrong or that you need to improve on something or that you hurt someone or that this is a bad decision, it's probably not going to end well for you. We just saw, and we've talked about all day, a really bad situation in Miami. You think there's a lot of people around Stephen Ross telling him, I probably shouldn't do that? No, because he wouldn't keep them around him. Yeah. Like, you can tell when people have yes people around you because you continue to make decisions that are not logical. The trade deadline is next Wednesday, February 10th. I don't think he's going to be moved this year. Morey is going to wait and try and get the best deal for him, which the longer this goes on, I don't know how the deal is getting better, but that's what they want to do. So Jerry Jones expressed frustration with Amari Cooper's production this season, and yesterday his son Steven hinted at his own frustrations with Amari Cooper as well.
Well, it's sometimes not all on the receiver, too. It's scheme. It's getting the receiver the ball, the touches, the targets that he needs. But if you're going to pay somebody, a lot of money, you want them to be the best at what they do, whether that's yards, whether that's receptions, whether that's touchdowns, whether that's throwing touchdown passes. All those things relate to how a guy's paid. And once you pay that player a lot of money, then with that comes high expectations. And they know that. These players know that.
So his contract represents a large portion of the Cowboys' salary cap. He has the third highest cap number on the team behind Dak Prescott and DeMarcus Lawrence for the 2022 season. So they could save $16 million against the cap by releasing him, and he failed to reach 1,000 yards receiving for the first time in 3 full seasons in Dallas.
Well, the problem is Zeke is no longer Zeke. They're going to lose the tight end, and Michael Gallup got hurt. So they're trapped a little. CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson are nice pieces.
But they need a number one receiver.
Well, yeah, they would go either pay for it or they. I don't know if you need you don't have to have a Cooper Kupp or a DeAndre Hopkins. The Patriots proved that for years. You don't need to have a number one, but then you better have 2 or 3. Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, good tight end. You can't lose your star tight end.
Well, Cooper Kupp is the best receiver, probably the best receiver in the league.
Most
so
productive,
he's definitely a number one receiver.
Right.
But the issue with the New England comparison is you had Tom Brady throwing it. When you're Dak Prescott, who's not Tom Brady, you need a number one receiver. I mean, Matthew Stafford and the Rams are not in the Super Bowl without Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. I think it's a convergence of things. Zeke's not the same player. They're going to lose their tight end probably on the market. Gallup got hurt, so you now need Amari Cooper.
I just don't think that Amari Cooper is the issue. I'm not surprised that they're putting this on Amari Cooper because he makes so much money. But the Dallas Cowboys offense does not work if they can't run the ball for more than 100 yards a game.
Yeah, they can't win games.
We have the numbers.
Yeah.
It is inarguable. So if you don't have a good run game, the offense doesn't work. So it's not on Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper doesn't have anything to do with the Cowboys' ability to run the ball.
Yeah.
So you're focusing on a guy that makes a lot of money. Rightfully so, he makes a lot of money. You want production. But fix the offense then, because the offense doesn't work if you don't run the ball.
Yeah.
So it's not a rocket science here. There's a reason why it's not working. There's a reason why they can't get the ball to him. There's a reason why he doesn't have the production. You got to be able to run the ball. It's just how it works for them. So Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to be traded this offseason, and that means it's Trey season. That's what Niner Gang is calling it. Trey season.
To be honest with you, he and Justin Fields, I'm excited to watch it.
Very excited.
I like watching this. Justin Herbert, watching him develop is really fun.
Well, I think it's fun also because, and we've talked about this all week, obviously, with Matthew Stafford making the Super Bowl. Sometimes in sports, we get to play out these theories that we talk about. We get to see them develop. Yeah. And we all thought that Jared Goff was being elevated by Sean McVay and the Rams roster. And we all thought Matthew Stafford was stuck in Detroit with a dysfunctional organization, but was wildly talented. Swap, what do we see? Detroit wins 3 games, Matthew Stafford's in the Super Bowl. So obviously, all the speculation that we had about the situation was right. Now, maybe Jared Goff and them will write it. I don't see them in the Super Bowl anytime soon, but maybe he's better than this year. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo, Niners fans are very split on him. Obviously, the organization was split on him. That's why Trey Lance is there. And now you're going to get to see Trey Lance in the toughest division in football with this roster and Jimmy Garoppolo on another team that I think the Niners will send him to a competitive team. So we're going to get to see how this plays out. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think Trey Lance is going to be good. I'm pretty sure. I'm not completely sure. And I will be when I watch. Give me to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Give me 10 starts and I'll have a very good feel. I've gotten 2 starts. He's big enough, mobile enough, strong enough, and can make throws.
He has a wow factor to him in his play. That's why they got him. He just needs time to develop.
Yep. Enjoy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
All right, welcome back. Emmanuel Acho, all Big 12, 3 years in the NFL. Speak for yourself, best-selling author, all that. Big speaker, too, everywhere, not just on TV. So Emmanuel Acho is joining us. So I'll just lay it out to you. I don't want you to have to give away all your good material
Of course. I have plenty, by the way.
So I'll steer it towards something. If Brian Flores had just said, I'm suing the Dolphins, that in itself, due to the allegations, is a bomb.
Yeah.
Asking an African-American coach to tank games when historically they don't get the second job if the first one doesn't work. Let's first talk about that. Are you shocked at that allegation?
I'm not at all shocked. Remember, there's a disconnect between ownership and coaches and players. It's not just a disconnect between the upper level and the lower level. Ownership has a goal in mind. Oh, we want the next number 1 overall pick, because the next number 1 overall pick might be Andrew Luck. It might be John Elway. It might be Troy Aikman. But head coaches, they want to play with the hand that they're dealt. So often, people play the hand that they wish they had instead of the hand that they're dealt. And head coaches have a tendency to play the hand that they're dealt. No, this is a roster we currently have. Let's move with that. Owners are kind of like the people on Price is Right who always go for what's behind door number 1. But what's behind door number 1 is rarely ever better than what you have in front of you. So I'm not at all shocked by the allegation. It is owners who don't really know what it takes to coach grown men and what it takes to win games. At the end of the day, most owners are just very rich individuals that are happy to own a team and hope it does well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for years this is how I thought. Owners, they're the smartest guys on every team. And then you watch and hear things over the course of my life. I've had multiple coaches tell me stories about owners, And it's crazy town. I mean, we always say there's 7 great quarterbacks, that's all. I'd argue there's 7 great owners, that's all. So Hugh Jackson came out today, was on social media, said, yeah, my owner was paying me more to lose games as well. So, like, I think some of these owners are out of their gourd. Did you ever have a relationship with any of the owners in the NFL?
I not a personal relationship like my brother, who was the executive vice president of the NFLPA, but I am very perceptive. So I would just watch some of the owners, and we'll get into that, sure, over the course of these next 10 minutes. But I didn't have a personal relationship, but oftentimes you can acquire more information through watching than through talking, and that's why I acquired all my info.
Yeah. The lawsuit itself, do you worry, because this happens all the time, that the lawsuit is so broad that it will limit Brian Flores' career going forward?
No. This is the first time that I think, at least from a black person in football, Brian Flores, as opposed to Colin Kaepernick, that Brian Flores will likely win, depending on how you define win. He will win on all levels. I do think Brian Flores will coach again. First and foremost, maybe even in this coaching cycle. I do think Brian Flores will win the lawsuit because the information is so blatantly obvious and it is so damning. I think he will win the lawsuit. I think Brian Flores will win on each and every account in several ways. Because realistically speaking, Flores could have I don't even know that Flores will settle.